So this month marks my 10-year wedding anniversary. My husband and I had one of the simplest ceremonies you could imagine. Apart from getting married at a courthouse, this was about as simple as it gets. I got my wedding dress at like a Ross or a Marshall's and just added a little bit of ribbon lace to it. We just invited immediate family. We got married in Colorado, so we performed the ceremony ourselves. And we just chose a little pocket of the woods outside of a city park and did the ceremony there. It was very simple and sweet. Of course, because it's me, I found a bunch of things to stress about. For our one decoration, I made this bunting out of old doilies that I had found at garage sales. Most of them had like stains or holes in parts of them, but they were gold to me. I had this vision of making this banner, making these flags. I don't remember where I got the burlap from, but I just hand sewed the doilies onto the burlap and folded it over. We just hung this between two trees and it was perfect. It was exactly what I was looking for. And then since then, we had this hanging outside at one point on our covered little patio. Some animals thought it was rather exciting and tasty, so brought it back in, and I think it probably sat for a while not doing anything, but these last several years I've had it above the bed. Now I have it sort of the wall across from the bed, and I love it so much because I think it's really pretty. I hung some twinkle lights behind it. I turn those on every night with the rechargeable batteries. It's a little reminder of our wedding, and I think it's beautiful, and I just wanted to share about it real quickly here. I thought I'd recreate a smaller one just to show you. I'm not the best at filming things as I do them, but I will give it a shot. I don't have all the equipment for that, but I'm gonna do my best. I found this piece of, it's perfect, piece of burlap just tied around one of the sheet sets that we got recently from like a Marshall's or something. It's got a couple like little parts I need to flatten out just from where it was tied. It's obviously much smaller than the one I made, but it's great. It's perfect for what I need, and it's a great way to just reuse that simple packaging that they had for the sheets. I still have just a couple pieces of the doily fabric that I had used on the first one. They're so beautiful. I really like these ones because they have different, I don't know if you can tell, but they have different colors to them just because they're aged. I think that's really cool. I love it. I was at a garage sale this weekend and found a tablecloth. It's perfect for what I need. I don't know how it's gonna go with cutting it up, but we will find out together. So garage sales, thrift stores, asking on free cycle, places like that for old doily fabric. And it doesn't even have to be, like, it could be damaged or have holes or stains, because I feel like you can work around that for projects. I wanted to share it here. It's really, really, really simple. Basic idea is you just take a piece of burlap. You can get burlap from coffee shops sometimes. They'll sell them or sometimes give them to you. Fabric stores might have it. If you just keep your eyes out, I'm sure you can track some down. You don't have to use burlap. That's just kind of what I ended up using. Probably a ribbon or just a piece of fabric would work fine. I just kind of liked the look of the burlap. And what I'll probably end up doing is cutting out triangles of the doily crocheted fabric. And then this one's definitely less wide than the other one, but maybe folding it over on itself just to hide it. If you're gonna see it from both sides, but you could just sew it onto the back and just hang the front and not see it. That's the main idea. We'll see how well the filming of it turns out. So again, I probably won't use this leftover fabric. I might use this one and just cut it into smaller triangles and try to use that established border. And then here's, of course, that tablecloth I was talking about, so I'll have a lot of fabric options there for future projects. And then the burlap ribbon from the bedding, so that's nice to be able to reuse that. And then I did have a piece of burlap left over as well, but I'm not going to use that today. So I'm just folding this over on itself to make a nice little tiny triangle, and then I'll just use that one to create one that's kind of the same size. I like this project because you don't have to be super precise with things, or at least that's not the route I went with it. And I decided not to use any more of that fabric. So then I looked to see where I would want to make the cut on this crocheted tablecloth, and I made this sort of half circle originally, which I liked, but I ended up deciding not to use that, and I went for more sort of the triangular type shapes. It's hard to tell, they're so small. And I also decided not to fold the burlap in on itself, just to kind of sew these to the front, which does show a little bit of those jagged edges on some of them, but I think it kind of works. So I just kind of found the middle of the burlap and just started sewing. You could probably machine sew this too, but I had hand sewed the other one, so I just ended up doing that. And also, again, I like this because you can be kind of messy with it. I just made sure to kind of get, it's nice that there's so many different little holes between the crocheted fabric and the burlap, so you could just kind of make sure you go in one part and then make sure you're kind of going over another piece of it to kind of secure it. And so it was super simple. Sometimes it got tangled on itself, but overall it went really quickly. And so there's the middle one, and then the two side ones. I just eyeballed it to space them out and just was really super casual about it. And then I tried to show that it did get tangled sometimes in all the edges of these little doily pieces, but it wasn't bad. And like I said, it went really fast for making something that's so cute. And here I'm just sort of showing how I secured just that initial knot, and you could just kind of go in and out of the burlap a bunch of times. So there are the flags. I think they're really cute. Pretty simple. Again, it was nice to kind of have a smaller one than the one I had made before. So it's just, there are a lot more options for where to put it. So of course, when my daughter saw this, she said, "Mom, why don't you just turn these around so you don't see those weird edges?" And she was right. When I started looking at the one that I had made previously, I noticed all these spots that were just kind of partially done. So I fixed that one and then noticed more as I was filming this. And I had joined the burlap to make it longer. I just joined the burlap together. And this one, maybe you can see, I folded the burlap over itself. There's still a lot of little threads sticking out. I think I made this the night before we got married and never really went back and fixed some of those things. I know that some people might cringe at destroying some of these doily pieces, but again, a lot of them were already damaged or stained, and I just felt like this was a nice way to give them some new life and to display them and really enjoy them in a new way. I know not everyone would agree with that, but kind of how I feel about it, and I think this is a really sweet, fun, simple project. Thank you so much for being here. Our actions can and will make a difference.